Hello everybody, welcome back to the series. In this video we're going to be finishing up non-conference play. We got a couple games against big schools with opportunities for big wins, so make sure and stick around all the way to the end and see what happens. But before we do that, we have a recruiting update. Once again, Coach Runt aims low and gets every single recruit, including Carmel Diaz, with the craziest size you'll ever see. Pretty good recruiting class here, and as we've seen already, some of these freshmen can have an impact as soon as they get on campus. We'll continue to see some of the impact that the freshmen that Coach Runt recruited last year through these games in the non-conference, some of them having some big performances throughout this video. First few games of this video will be simulating against Southern Miss, UNC Asheville, and then simulating a rematch against Boise State from the NIT tournament. To start off, we end up getting a win against Southern Miss, another one against UNC Asheville, and then we end up losing to Boise State. Cedric Teal with another monster game. He plays really well in these simulated games, only missing 4 shots of his 20 attempts. Jamal Banks also putting up 22. And then UNC Asheville was the Brett Plummer game. He scores 22 points, has 7 assists on top of it. Jamal Banks and Cedric Teal contributing as well. Next up, we're going to be simcasting against Auburn. They're pretty highly rated, but we get to host them in this one. To start this one off, it's a pretty back and forth game. We pull ahead early and then give up a lead. Tied going into halftime, but we end up pulling away in the last few minutes to get about a 15-point win. Jamal Banks with 20, Cedric Teal with 22. Pick up one more win over the weekend, and then we get to host number 12 Minnesota. Very highly rated. Unfortunately, in that last game, we did lose Brett Plummer to bone spurs. He'll be out about 2 weeks. So we're going to have to make some adjustments. John Anthony has been the hot hand of the last few games, so he's going to get an opportunity with some more minutes in the starting lineup. Pretty back and forth to start this one. Getting a little bit of a lead at times, but Minnesota doing a good job of keeping it close. And as we pull away up by 5 with 3 minutes left, we're going to jump into this one. Bit of a low-scoring game, but a pretty balanced offense. Jamal Banks leading the team, and John Anthony stepping up in his opportunity, going 2 for 3 from 3, 4 for 10 from the field. Minnesota with a really highly rated power forward being led by him and their small forward with 18 and 14 points. No scoring for the first minute or so here, but we are looking to put this one away, and we're going to do so by giving it to our star player Cedric Teal, who gets a nice strong bucket to give us a 7-point lead. You can see the blueprint here for how we got here with the high pressure defense, double teaming their guy in the corner. But some good ball movement here allows them to swing it around and get good positioning inside for the easy 2. Coach Runt's patented chaotic defense is a little bit high risk, high reward, but overall working out here as we have a chance to upset a high rated team. Cedric Teal once again gets inside to give us another 7-point lead. And the Gophers getting to be in some danger here, really need a bucket, and their point guard is going to give them one. After some fouling by the Gophers, we can see the young freshman who's been playing well gets a little bit anxious here and takes a really silly shot, giving Minnesota an opportunity to cut down the lead. Luckily, good defense there, and they aren't able to make it. One last gasp, they do hit it, so it's back down to a 3-point game. But our best free throw shooter, Damon Angelo, at home, able to ice it. And we're going to start this one off, picking off a really good number 12 rated Minnesota Golden Gophers team. And you can see the 2 freshmen who are starting tonight celebrating together, Matthew Rivera and John Anthony, getting some of their first tastes of success in college basketball. Gophers obviously disappointed, but they'll be able to bounce back quickly. Next up, we're going to have 2 full games to get through, the first of which being traveling to number 21 Maryland with an overall of A, offensive rating of A, and defensive rating of A-. And I'll say it, a mascot rating of A+, with a pretty good home crowd as well. Remember, we traveled back to 2009, so Maryland a part of the ACC during some of its strongest years in the late 2000s, early 2010s. So this is a battle-tested team, and they're not going to be surprised by us anymore as they've seen us pick off Minnesota just a week or so ago. The crowd's ready, teams are excited, and we get to tip this one off. Actually, first let's look at the team. Couple good names. We got Steve Riddle and Filbert Hayden for the backcourt, and a solid power forward Towns as well. I love the names Steve Riddle and Filbert for a backcourt. That's the type of team that makes a run in March. Early on in this one, we're swinging it around and get it to the freshman who is ready for the big moment on the road against a top team making his first shot. Then some good defense gives us some momentum, but unfortunately not able to offensive rebound. And get ready to see a lot of this. This was a game where the refs were calling just about everything. The free throw is going to play a major role in this one as we break the press. And once again, John Anthony stepping up to the moment and knocking down a big three. And once again with a pretty soft foul, that's going to be Teal's second, and he's going to have to come out of the game. One thing about this game that I don't think I've mentioned is that the CPU just doesn't miss free throws, as they get the easiest layup on an inbound pass ever. The CPU just doesn't miss free throws in this game. I think I've maybe seen one or two in the entire time I've played this game. So a game like this is not to our advantage, especially with calls like that and with getting dunked on in the last possession. Both of our starting bigs in foul trouble now, as this bald guy knocks down 2 more free throws. Now they're moving the ball around, and we contest it a little bit too hard. They get the call once again on a pretty soft call. And Coach Runt is going to end up calling a timeout to solve this. And during this timeout, an intense stare down from Coach Runt and the ref. Man, what a crazy video, very realistic. The mascot can't believe what he's seeing, but being a true professional continues on his dancing. Coach Runt finishes up the timeout, tries to get his team in order. They are now down 11, but the offense settling down, getting it to one of their seniors, Jamal Banks, who finds an easy jump shot from the mid-range. Just about a minute later, Maryland on offense, they get another absurd foul, and now half the team is in foul trouble, it feels like. Filbert Hayden once again at the line. Starting to not like him as much as I did when I first saw his name. He's just getting to the free throw line nonstop. And now we are really unraveling. Give up a turnover and get absolutely dunked on. Filbert Hayden once again. But we're going to get it to our freshman John Anthony, who's been good. He gets double teamed, which creates an opportunity for Cedric Teal. Notice no foul on that one. And then another pick and roll for John Anthony where he learns from Banks and gets to the mid-range. He's shooting well this game. And with the defense locking in, Teal walking like a weirdo, Maryland is forced to call a timeout to bounce back. But Steve Riddle with the pump fake. You can't bite for a Steve Riddle pump fake. You gotta know that's coming. Running back down right after, we get it into Teal and they double team him, leaving Anthony wide open, and he stays hot. He's keeping us in this one with 11 points now. Then some good defense on Filbert. Give him a rebound, but he throws it off the bottom of the rim. And we're running the break. Angelo dumps it off to Teal for the layup, and we're back within 3. And now a familiar sight, Filbert Hayden, once beloved for his name, now hated because all he does is shoot free throws. And right before half, Damon Angelo with a 3, and he's going to cut it down to a 4-point game going into the half. Down by 4 at half, shooting much better, playing pretty good defense, but letting Maryland get a lot of the rebounds. But we've done a great job of evening up the shot totals with our forced turnovers. We have 6 steals, which has been a point of focus for both teams. But here we go, second half kicking off. Down by 6, and they go straight up right away to get a nice finish. But right away, Angelo hucking a full court pass to Teal, who answers right back. And would you look at that? We get some free throws of our own with Angelo, who shoots 90% from the line. And Teal also knocking down a couple ones. If it's going to be a free throw fest, we might as well get some of our own, as Filbert Hayden, once again at the line. He's now up to 10 points despite only making 2 shots this game. And we are starting to miss Plummer a little bit as the pressure's starting to get to us. Luckily, we're able to recover and find Banks, who knocks down a transition 3 to bring it back within 6. And then a couple minutes later, one of the worst passes I've ever seen, as we're able to get another fast break, and the quick Tyson Navarre runs down and gets a layup. They are able to answer back pretty quickly here though, and this is the first time that animation did not result in a foul. At a pretty critical point in the game, we're starting to cool down offensively, especially from 3, as we're back down to 30% on the game now after a hot start. And with them up 10, getting it inside, making it a 12-point game, we're going to have to burn another timeout to try to salvage this one. No more stare downs in this one though, strictly business, but unfortunately it's not going to turn out well, as it leads to a Cedric Teal touch, which turns into an air ball somehow, not something we see very often. And then on the fast break Maryland, Filbert's got the ball. He's getting double teamed by Angelo and John Anthony, it looks like, but he finds his man inside and it's a 14-point game. It's now or never for the Crusaders, and a little bit sloppy with the ball, but it ends up being an Angelo 3, which cuts down the lead. But then all of a sudden, Filbert finally makes a non-free throw, and it's back up to 10. Down 17 now. It would probably take a miracle, but a 3 here from John Anthony will help. And on the next possession, a block from Parnell turns into a fast break. Teal running out ahead of it, and he's got a great dunk opportunity, but it's blocked from behind. Would have been a huge momentum swing, as all the momentum would have been on our side despite being down 12, but instead now we're down 16, and this game is likely over. So close to a huge dunk, even if it didn't lead to a win, it would have been one of the highlights of the season for sure. You can see Teal was feeling himself on this one, as he was roaring and ready to go up with a massive dunk. But of course, as we close this one out, we have to hit the end of game 3 to stat pad, especially the freshman John Anthony in a big game. And team stats you can see here got out-rebounded quite a bit, especially in the second half. Really just outplayed in general, as we were able to force turnovers but gave up just about as many as we forced. And they shoot 25 free throws to our 6 free throws. Tough to win in that context on the road with that type of free throw disparity. And now that loss is going to snowball a little bit as we pick up a win against a smaller school, but then lose to Nevada 65-87 before the Saturday game against UCF is also a loss by 25 points. So we're going to head to Arizona State in desperate need of a win, but it's not going to be easy as they are rated all A- and it's on the road. And we lose Rivera, who is starting to emerge as the starting center full time. He's going to be out just about for the rest of the season. With that news, we're going to have to make a couple more adjustments. Parnell going to move into the starting lineup, and that's going to create some more minutes for Dickerson, the freshman power forward who's not seen much time this year, as well as McCray, and just opening up generally some more bench minutes. And that's going to lead us into the final game of the video. This will turn out to be a great game, great opportunity heading to Arizona State to try to get back on track for the season. You can feel the desperation for the Crusaders here, but Arizona State is not going to make it easy, and it's going to take a good performance out of Cedric Teal facing off against Anthony Perry, Arizona State's star player. Similar goals as usual for us. With the injuries, we got to manage our fatigue and make threes. They're really looking to spread out the attack and box out and get rebounds. And we are off, as Parnell is going to win the opening tip-off. And they have the ball early and a big dunk to highlight the beginning of this game. Arizona State is no joke talent-wise, as Banks going to knock down our first bucket of the game from the corner 3. A couple minutes into the game now, Arizona moving the ball around well, and they find the cutter with the lob. Impressive pass there. But Angelo in the corner now, knocking down another 3 for our second bucket of the game. Arizona State doing a good job of moving the ball around and running the offense, and it leads to a layup there, 12-3 run for them. And it quickly will turn into a 14-3 run as he catches the lob but pulls it down and then goes back up with it. Brett Plummer back from his injury, but we are not shooting well to start this game, so the veteran leader is going to take an easy jump shot off of the pick and roll. Starting to see that calmness and leadership, especially from Banks and Plummer, as he goes off the pick and roll and finds Anthony, and then pitter-patters on the back pedal to play defense. After a few good plays, Plummer earned a heat check, misses it, but Teal's there to clean it up. And a little later on, Teal getting double-teamed down low, able to find Banks for the open 3, but he can't make it. Luckily, Dickerson, the freshman, able to clean it up. And now, crawling back into this one, and once again it's going to be John Anthony, back off the bench but still providing that spark. A lot of momentum back on our side as Arizona State trying to settle into their offense, but a couple of boneheaded moves here as they actually end up just giving us a backcourt violation. And another minute later, John Anthony, learning from Jamal Banks with the drive, pull back three-pointer in transition. He's perfect on the game. Arizona State, though, able to answer back with a tough mid-range shot. And Brett Plummer in transition is going to find the freshman Dickerson, and boom! Dickerson taking advantage of his opportunity, showing off the hops with a massive dunk. Coach Runt was not aware of Derek Dickerson's game, as Arizona State knocks down a three here. Perry's shooting well. And Brett Plummer saw that last possession and wants to give him another chance. Just a layup this time, but he's able to finish the lob. Dickerson with 6 points in the first half off the bench. And he is calm, cool, and collected walking back to the locker room. Really impressed with our ability to stay in this one. Despite being outshot and out-assisted, our bench is really keeping us in it. We're shooting a little below what we'd like from three, but staying out of foul trouble and doing well on fatigue. But let's jump into the second half of this one. Getting in a couple minutes into the second half as they're matching our lobs with some of their own. Teal, as we often see, getting double-teamed, but we might have found something at the end of that first half as he's going to find Dickerson on the lob. Down by 6, Banks hitting his classic move, pull it back in transition and knock down a three. But again, Arizona State not just going to give us this one as they drive baseline and hit a nice finish. Teal going back to work in the post. It's getting harder to double team him with all the shooters and Dickerson available for the lob, so he gets a good look and knocks it down. And now they do bring the double team again, and Dickerson is going to make him pay. But Arizona State able to answer right back with a dunk of their own. This game is really starting to heat up. And in these moments, always able to go back to Cedric Teal. He hits a nice pump fake and then finishes the layup through contact. But again, Arizona State just not phased, and they dunk on us right back. In transition, Dickerson finding Teal this time, and he finishes again through contact, hitting the Bill Crockett dance on the way back. Once again, off of a missed shot, Brett Plummer finding Anthony in the corner, and he's going to knock it down and give us the lead. Tie game here, Arizona running their motion offense. Look at those bench points from Anthony and Dickerson, but Arizona able to get the lead back. Brett Plummer rejecting the screen, draws in the defense and finds Angelo for the open corner three, back up one. And then again, just calm and collected, getting to his spot in the mid-range and putting us ahead again. And Cedric Teal is fired up, as usual. He's really taken over the energy role since Crockett graduated. Arizona State takes the lead once again with a layup, and Teal getting double-teamed once again, throws the lob, and Dickerson has just been huge this game. But we fall in love with it maybe just a bit too much as they're catching on and intercept this lob. And on the very next possession, a good pass across the defense gives them the lead once again. And now down one with the game on the line, Teal isolating. He gets rid of it, and an awkward possession here leads to a block shot. And as they knock down the free throw to make it a three-point game, we got to get the offense going, but Banks can't do it. Dickerson there for the rebound though, and we're going to have to call a timeout to get a play drawn up. And what a big timeout here. We were down big at times this game, but battled back, and in the second half it's been crazy back and forth. Lots of dunks and highlights, but let's see what Coach Runt has got. Could have been a good look for Plummer there, but he is going to be selective and find Teal on the ISO, who's getting doubled, swinging the ball around. John Anthony, and the freshman ties it up. The freshman has been making shots all year and might have just sent it to overtime, but the team is not celebrating yet. Wait a minute, is that a Coach Runt doppelganger? I did not know Coach Runt had a twin, but it makes sense why this game's been so back and forth. This is a real battle of titans we got going down here. And out of the timeout, Arizona State with about 5 seconds to get a shot off. Plummer with good defense, but they get it up, get the shot off, and make the game-winning shot. With no time, he gets the shot up, knocks down the three, and we lose a heartbreaking game. Felt like we had figured something out on offense, but instead the losing streak continues in just an awful way. You can see the disappointment on the team's face. And in that loss, Cedric Teal with another great game, but the real stars were the two freshmen off of the bench, Dickerson with a complete breakout game. We've seen games like this from Anthony, but this felt like just another level as he shoots 5 for 7 from 3, 5 for 9 overall. The young guys really drove our offense and nearly carried us to a win over a really good opponent on the road. But to finish out non-conference play, we do pick up one more win against Middle Tennessee State on the road. In the non-conference, we end up finishing 11-6. Not too bad. We got some big wins like the one over Minnesota, but some tough losses against good teams and some against not as good teams. And with all the injuries, we were able to find some new things, discovering John Anthony's clutch ability and Derek Dickerson as a possible option for starting center through the rest of the year. But that's all for this video. In the next one, we're going to work through conference play, and it won't be too long before we're back into tournament season again. Thank you very much for watching. In the future, I might be starting to branch out a little bit more with some intros for videos or maybe some YouTube short summaries of videos. I want to keep getting better at these videos and figuring out ways that I can improve. So be on the lookout for those things sometime in the future.